Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your November 2015 General Tarotscope. It's Raina here. And so I decided to change things up. And, I have Taurus rising, and I don't necessarily always like change myself. And this might be one of those occasions that kind of proves me right not to like change because I picked some really intense cards for you, and I decided to kind of pick the cards ahead of time because when I do general readings, I tend to just do that at the end and talk about astrological transits. So I picked these cards, and then I was thinking, why are they so dramatic? And then I realized during the first 3 weeks in November, the sun will be in Scorpio, and that's your opposite sign. So it's the drama of the relationship because the seventh house is about long term relationships. So that's probably what is informing this reading. And I just can't get away from these love readings. I think this is the third sign that I've picked cards that seem that they are directly related to relationships. And I don't want them to be because I'm doing love reading separate. And I've already done your love reading for November. So you can check that out on this channel. But in any case, for the first week, I drew two cards, and they were the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Wands. And so, if you're familiar with the Tarot, you know that the Ten of Swords with the Rider Waite deck is the person who is lying on the ground with all these swords stuck in his back. And so it symbolizes being betrayed. Now, this is with the Queen of Wands. So, this first week in November, there is this energy of betrayal, and the Queen of Wands can represent a fire sign woman. And so, for some of you, this may mean that this is the person that is doing this to you or that is, involved in it, like the other woman, that sort of thing. And that would be either an Aries, a Sagittarian, or a Leo. This could be somebody that you know automatically who this person is. And by the way, when I say it could be a fire sign, it could be prominent in their chart. So it could be their moon sign or their ascendant. And you kind of get that vibe from them that they're a fire sign, even if they aren't officially a sun sign in one of the fire signs. But basically, this could also relate to you. You could be acting very confident in the face of whatever this betrayal is. And it could be on the job, It could be somebody who screwed you over in some way, and you are adopting the consciousness of the Queen of Wands, and you're able to withstand whatever it is. And the second week, we have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Swords. Now, this is an interesting combo because the Ace of Cups is the beginnings of love, of a new relationship. It's actually a very beautiful card, and it points to some kind of new relationship that is brewing, new love relationship. Coupled with the Two of Swords, it indicates that there is some sort of choice that needs to be made. Because the ace is in the cups suit, that means that it probably is a relationship issue because that relates to water signs, emotions. And so you will have to decide between two people. Now, typically we would say these are two partners related to romance, but of course, this could relate to some other type of relationship that you have formed, even a friendship. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is that in the second week of the month, we have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio at 19 degrees of Scorpio on 11/11. And so this might be the time in which this comes to pass because the seventh house is where this new moon is falling and starting a new cycle in the house of long term relationships. So that's pretty cool. But you do have to decide about something. The third week, we have the Eight of Swords coupled with the Five of Pentacles. These are two very difficult cards in the third week of the month. And so, what does that mean? The Eight of Swords relates to restrictions which you place upon yourself. So, this is because there's Swords, it relates to your thought patterns. And the same with the Five of Pentacles. This is all about poverty consciousness. So, in terms of this reading, it could be that if you have some financial concerns, that you are putting yourself in the position of a lack consciousness and you're doing it to yourself. And you have to be the one that gets yourself out of that. And I recommend Abraham Hicks for raising your vibration when it comes to manifestation, because sometimes we have very deeply rooted patterns based upon our childhood conditioning. If we have a trigger, and it could be a relationship breaking up, which kind of shakes our security and our sense of foundation, and that leads us back into that pattern of insecurity and feeling like we don't have enough, that can trigger something with our sense of financial security as well. This is something to look at in the month of November. It doesn't mean that this is what's really happening with you. It could just be not having expansive enough thoughts. The fourth week brings about the Death card and the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is another choice card, and it means that there are a lot of options available to you. The Death card speaks of transition, of going to the next phase, and it's in the last week of the month. Now, the last week of the month is when the sun enters Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is in your 8th house of other people's money. And so the sun being in this house will highlight those of you who get money from passive income sources. And this could be in terms of stock dividends or sales of stock, or it could be that you are dealing with inheritance issues at this time. It could also bring up any issues around a spouse's income, that you find out things about a spouse's income. Also, on the 25th of November, we have a full moon in Gemini at 3 degrees of Gemini that falls in your 2nd house of earned income. So this could be a time when money starts to increase in the money that you earn. You could have ideas about how to earn more money or from other sources or a separate income stream. So this is actually a very good time for money in the last week of the month. If I had to sum up this reading, I would say that there may have been some kind of feeling of being betrayed by somebody at the beginning of the month. And this may be even carrying over from this time period right now. And that it's still on your mind, because I'm recording this right before the beginning of November. And there will be a new relationship. Now, this new relationship in the 2nd week of November may be with somebody that you've already known that kind of turns into something more. A friend that becomes a lover, for instance. But you have to make a choice. Obviously, if you're already in a relationship, then you have to make a choice. And then in the 2nd half of the month, you're going to have to kind of conquer feelings of limitation. And then you can bring in the 4th week, there is this energy with the sun entering your 8th house of other people's money and the full moon in the 2nd house of earned income. You have triggers from 2 houses that pertain at least partially to income of some sort. So that is a great way to end the month, Taurus, especially since you are an earth sign and you rule the 2nd house of earned income. And so that full moon will be falling in that 2nd house. So I hope you enjoyed this different type of reading, and it's a general Tarotscope. If you want something that is tailored specifically to you using your exact time of birth, just click on the link below. and it takes you to my site where I have all kinds of offerings. So I wish you a wonderful November, Taurus. Bye.